Footsteps of St. Paul Tour and 3-day cruise, the trip of a lifetime. After visiting the inspiring sights in Athens and Corinth, embark on your cruise sailing to the Jerusalem of Aegean, Patmos Island, and visit the first Christian Church of Ephesus in Turkey. Continue your journey to the northern Greece to follow the steps of Apostle Paul. Day 1, arrive Athens, Greece. Arrive at Athens Airport where you will be met by our representative and transfer to the hotel. Travel in time, exploring a city with a history of more than 5,000 years. Group dinner will be provided at the hotel. Day 2, Athens and Corinth. This morning, we depart for our morning tour out of Athens. On the way, we stop at the historic Corinth Canal. It was Corinth, Acts chapter 18 verses 1 to 18, where Apostle Paul lived and worked, established a thriving church, subsequently sending 2 of his epistles now part of the New Testament. After visiting the sites associated with Apostle Paul's ministry, we return to Athens for an afternoon city tour. Climb up to Acropolis Hill to see the famous Parthenon Temple, Erectheion and Temple of Athena Nike. Then walk to nearby Mars Hill, Areopagus, Acts chapter 17 verse 22, where Apostle Paul spoke to the Athenians about the one and only God. Our tour will finish with a panoramic bus tour to see the city highlights. Dinner will be served at hotel. Day 3, cruise to Mykonos. After breakfast at the hotel, transfer to Piraeus port for embarkation on the Greek islands cruise. Sail at 11 a.m. and enjoy lunch on board. Our first port of call is Mykonos, where we have free time for walking and exploring the town. Stroll on your own through the whitewashed, flower-decked alleyways, climbing to the sculptured church of Parthenon or along the waterfront of Little Venice to the famous windmills. Enjoy dinner on board and at 11 p.m. we sail for Kusadasi, Turkey. Day 4. Kusadasi, Turkey, Patmos, Greece. Arrive at Kusadasi port in Turkey. This is the starting point for our tour to ancient Ephesus, Acts chapter 18 verses 19 to 21. Apostle Paul preached to the Ephesians, lived and worked here for a number of years. We tour the spectacular ruins in the city which was founded in the 10th century BC. After the visit we return to the port for re-embarkation at lunchtime and sail to Patmos. Arrive Patmos, Rev 1 to 9, in the afternoon and enjoy a tour to the monastery of St. John where he was exiled and wrote the book of Revelation. We also visit the Grotto of the Revelation, Cave of Apocalypse before embarking on the cruise ship. Sail to Crete and enjoy dinner on board. Day 5, Crete and Santorini. At 7 a.m. we arrive at Crete, Acts chapter 27 verses 7 to 13. You can join the optional excursion to the Minoan Palace of Knossos, home of King Minos and the legendary Minotaur, half bull and half man. After a few hours, we sail for Santorini, the island with the most magnificent landscape. Ride the cable car up to the whitewashed town of Thera, perched high on the rim of the ancient volcano. Set sail back to the port of Piraeus around 9 p.m. Day 6, Athens, Meteora Monasteries. Disembark after breakfast on board. Meet the local guide and board the bus for a journey to central and northern Greece. Upon arrival in the town of Kalimbaka we enjoy a spectacular drive up to visit 2 Meteora monasteries which are built on the top of colossal symmetrical gray and reddish boulders. They are perched precariously high above the ground and they were first built in the 14th century by monks seeking isolation and salvation. Day 7, Berea, Thessalonica. We depart from Kalimbaka and continue our journey to Thessalonica. On our way we will stop in Berea, Acts chapter 17 verses 10 to 15, to see the mosaic monument commemorating Apostle Paul's preaching. Later in the afternoon, check in at the hotel in Thessalonica. Enjoy the evening at your own leisure. Take a walk by the seaside promenade and explore the beautiful city center. Day 8, Philippi, Kavala. In the morning, we start for a city tour of Thessalonica. We see the old city walls, the White Tower, Galerius Arch and the Rotunda. Continue with a drive to Philippi, the site where Apostle Paul established a strong church. To this congregation he sent his letter, Acts chapter 16 verses 9 to 33. We see the river where Lydia is said to have been baptized, the ruins of a prison where Apostle Paul and Silas had been kept, the Agora, 5th and 6th century basilica and the theater. After the visit, we continue to Kavala, the ancient port of Neapolis, Acts chapter 16 verse 11, where we enjoy a panoramic tour before returning to Thessalonica for overnight. Day 9, Thessalonica, Athens. Today we commence our enchanting drive back to Athens, passing by Tempe Valley and Katerini, where we gaze upon the Mount Olympus. Farewell group dinner will be provided at the hotel in Athens. Day 10, Athens departure. As you reflect on these past few days, full of history and spiritual inspiration, you will be transferred to the Athens International Airport for your flight home.